And you scared him. I'm telling you, look at all this stuff. Doug Tilk, this is for going to Mexico. And I am so looking forward to doing that on Dia de Reyes, the Feast of the Epiphany. That's going to be a lot of fun. Sam, good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, man.
How's everything?
Good, good.
Are you in the holiday spirit?
Yeah, you know, I mean, it feels like it's far away because it's a few weeks away, but it's on top of us now, you know. I mean, we don't really get like that Christmas rush that like a Target would or something like that.
Yeah.
Costco, but definitely had some people coming in and buying some gift cards and things like that. We typically get guys are really coming in, you know, like, or I should say the wives and the daughters. They're coming in maybe like the day before. You know? So we're getting them on Christmas Eve, almost 23rd.
Oh, is that right? They come in like that?
How's that?
Do you want the door closed once you guys?
Hey, we're live right now. Yeah. We're good. Don't worry about it.
Either way, yeah. But
All right,
they're
we have a
coming in
large
pretty
studio
late.
audience
Yes,
tonight.
yes.
Yes.
You guys need to sit down. Everybody needs to sit down.
Yeah, please calm down out there.
Hey, can you restart?
Yeah, we're restarting right now. Eric's here. Everybody's here. Man, I'll tell you. Let's see here. Sam's going to go check Eric out. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we're up to here. Doug Tilk, who's sitting out in our studio audience. Should I run out and put the camera on you?
Not necessary.
Not necessary. Doug Tilk has bought all these lovely toys. They're all going to Mexico, along with a lot of other great stuff, all thanks to people like Doug, who go out of their way. Went to Walmart today and made sure that we're going to have some brand new toys for some kids. I'm not even sure what orphanage or where exactly they're going to go, but I can guarantee you that they will go to some really kids that really will have a lot of fun and enjoy it and really deeply appreciate it. And as I said, we're going to do that around Dia de Reyes, which is the Feast of the Epiphany, which is like January 6th, if I have that right. So that should be good. Hey, hit that like button if you could. We would deeply appreciate it if you do that. Subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel and tick that little bell. You'll be notified when there is new content. Sam and I will answer your questions. We'll talk fishing. We'll talk the holidays. We'll talk about all our efforts in Mexico. It's going to be a great holiday season. And Susan Sosa, if you're tuning in out there, more studio audience. Sam, it's getting out of control. And we have a barbecue going tonight. Maybe some of you on Facebook saw that. There's bluefin tuna being cooked out there, Korean beef. We've been watching the football game. I'm telling you, Sam, this is what life's all about. We are truly blessed. Jam-packed here with the studio audience going out of control. Eric is back.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. And Mackie.
Oh, Maggie.
Mackie showed up.
I brought rice.
Oh my God.
man.
Mackie's got the arroz. Everybody is here.
What's going on,
Whoa.
man?
This is a huge studio audience tonight, ladies and gentlemen. You can't see Michael. The ball's in the way.
Hold the ball, Michael.
Yeah, Michael, hold the ball. Up a little higher. No, right here.
Tyler,
No,
what's up,
no.
man?
There you go, right there.
How you doing, man?
Tyler? Is this Tyler?
Yeah.
Oh my God, nice to see you.
Nice to meet you, man.
Where are you from, Tyler? You're coming in from where?
Knoxville, Tennessee.
My God. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah.
It's great to have you with us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm down in Anaheim, so I drove up.
Cool,
What are you
man.
doing? Are you here? Oh, you
Working?
just came in for Tackle Shop Confessions.
Yeah.
I flew in here special.
Yeah.
It's so good to see you, man.
Yeah, I don't
Really.
want to interrupt the.
That's all right. Find a chair out there, and we've got food coming and everything else. Great to have you here from Tennessee.
Yeah.
Wow. Go Vols. Yeah. I was right there, man. Until they play the Irish, I'm all balls. Who are you guys playing? You're playing.
Ohio State.
That's right. That's the best game in the first round.
It's the one good match.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I like Notre Dame, Indiana. Battle of Indiana.
That's true. All right, here,
All right, hey, please.
FA family.
Tyler Tanaka, everybody from Tennessee. Eric, you want to come in here and put your nose in here? Anybody else want to? Man, this is out of control tonight. I think
Pretty
we're
good.
done. The show's over.
Yeah.
Michael, I was only kidding you. You don't have to do that. Can we see Michael? Yeah, we'll just put it over
Put it
there.
over here.
All right, and the reason we have all these toys out here is to illustrate all the great stuff that's going to Mexico. Doug Tilk just brought all this in. Dan at 22nd Street Landing, I think you saw more spinning reels. Diego
Yeah.
Nuno, you, and myself, a bunch of other people are trying to get that all together. That's all going to the island of Cedros. And a woman by the name of Susan Sosa, I met her. in Huntington Beach the other day, and she had a whole big box full of beautiful spinning reels.
Nice.
So good stuff.
Nice, nice. Good
No
to be good.
question about it. Tons of questions coming in here. So you want me to start there?
Sure, yeah.
All right, perfect. Let me start reading some of these, and I can't believe Tyler is here. Can you?
No, I was like blown away when I saw him walking through the door.
So he didn't tell you?
No, I didn't know.
That is so
That's
awesome.
freaking cool.
Chris Navarro says, good evening, Grandpa Phil and Sam. I am. Hey, Chris, good to see you. I wish you were here. Michael Krinkovich, as Scott calls him, the cranker.
The cranker.
Cranker wants to know what's up. Addicted to fishing. Good evening. Has anyone else seen the bird activity about a mile off the coast? Super thick in Oceanside. We've had a ton of birds in Surfside.
Bait? Yeah,
Pelicans
yeah.
hitting the bait. And all kinds of good stuff, man. Who knows what evil lurks in the heart of Dan Lightfoot out there. ARG Mari. Hello. Hey, babe. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Robert Slagers. Hi, Phil. I got my first reel for Christmas, 1969, a Penn 500 with steel spool. My mom got it with blue chip stamps. Oh, my God, I haven't thought about those things. Or do you remember those?
No.
Oh, that's before your
For
time,
me,
even.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about, Robert. Happy holidays. Yeah, do you remember those? Yeah, you pasted them in a book, and I think you turned them in for a crap at the end of it. Good stuff. Yeah, you really seem interested in that. Addicted to fishing. Cardiff Crack is on.
All right.
What does that mean?
I'm not sure.
Reggie Wynn. Wow,
Reggie.
Reggie Wynn, pardon me. Tyler is live. Tyler, you may have to jump in here again before the end of this show. I'll tell you. Wow, this is incredible here tonight, Sam. Can you believe it? Are you seeing something else that I'm not seeing? Did I jump over something?
You still got more to go.
I do.
Yeah.
How come I don't see him?
I don't know.
Hold on, let me fix it. Oh, there we go. I just fixed it.
Yeah. Your
Steve.
buddy Steve.
Is he taking a shot at me before I even read this thing?
No,
More people
Steve,
coming
you
in.
should be down here. We got food cooking.
Steve,
Yeah.
come on, man. Sam, did you receive any of the new UC green color blanks?
Yeah, we
They
got
always
some
throws you
in.
softballs. Go ahead.
We got some in. We sold them out though, Steve. But I got more coming. So just let me know what you want, and I'll make sure we hold it for you this time.
Yeah, Steve, he'll make sure we do that. Reggie Wynn, have Tyler bring up a seat next to you
Yeah.
guys.
Reggie.
You're more than welcome to do that. Do you want to do that? Tyler,
I'm not gonna kick that.
you can throw the little kid out. You want him to throw you out tonight?
He could.
No, we wouldn't do that. We'll have you on at the end, you know.
good.
Or we'll just turn the camera on and you can profess your love for Freeman Adventures.
My favorite channel.
Love this guy, man. Good stuff. Sam, it is the Christmas season, and why not just jump into what, is obviously not a toy for kids. We got all these toys from Mexico, but you got a knife that looks super cool, and you actually took it out and tried it out.
Yeah. Actually, I had a couple guys, kind of the late bluefin season we had, cut some fish at home, kind of check it out, guys that I know have handled a lot of knives and do it professionally. And then we took it on the Royal Star trip. I had Diego and the guys there try it out, kind of just give me their opinion. It's a product and actually I've told a couple customers and I guess they've been doing pretty high quality knives. And so I got a couple from them to kind of check them out and try them. I don't want to bring them in unless I thought they were going to work.
Yeah. You mean in the store for sale?
Yeah. And so we brought a couple in.
They look cool.
To check them out and try them. They come with this super nice sheath, actually, which at first looked kind of simple, but after using it here a few times, it works really good. It kind of locks in there. The handle is this, I guess it's called a G10 gun grip.
Uh-huh.
So it's a specific style of grip here that they use on guns and different kind of high-end knives. But that was another thing I wasn't sure whether guys would like it or not because it's so different. But everyone who's used it really, really likes it. It's got kind of a heavy feel to it, kind of a heavy quality feel. And if you're cutting bigger, heavier fish, it was something those guys really, really like. So I ordered about another 10 of them. We'll be getting those in this week, I think. And so kind of for the holidays here, for guys that want to buy a super cool knife for their bud that has a boat, or maybe, somebody that wants to buy something like this that for someone in their family that has a boat. It's not really the kind of knife that you're going to go cut bait with. This is a pretty high-end knife. They're $100, so they're not really super expensive, but they're definitely not cheap. It's not something you're gonna have kind of laying around your kitchen or something like that. I guess you could. I mean, it's a super high-quality knife. So
Yeah, it is.
kind of a thought that I had is I wanted to kind of bring to the show every week was just some, unique product. You know, we've talked about different reels and different rods, and sometimes that stuff's kind of like, you know, something that we answer because guys will ask us a lot. But
Yeah.
I just, you know, I'm going to try to think of something to bring just different to the show.
That's great.
And
I
different
think-
products and
yeah.
things like that. Yeah. So rather than just showing, you know, Tatty 45s, you know, mint green, type of thing. What's your favorite color? It's like, well, this one. You know, which we're obviously going to answer those questions anytime
Of
somebody
course,
asks
but
me.
something new like that.
Something new and different, yeah.
So you and I are on the same track.
We
because
are.
I did the same thing.
Oh, man, I got to stop doing this.
So
thing.
no,
This is the
you've
first
done
and last
yours.
one for me.
I have this doll, everybody, that I think is just perfect for the fisherman in your life. The angler in your life sometimes gets lonely out there at sea. And if they bring this along in their stateroom, when their partner goes upstairs perhaps for a while, they could cuddle with this little doll. It's perfect for the angler in your life. How's that?
I'm not sure if that's what I had
That's
in
going to
mind,
Mexico,
but yeah.
everybody. Keep your hands off this, Tyler, whatever you do. Dan, calm down. Man. Dan's excited for the Korean beef that's coming out. Good stuff. And a knife, you took it out to the boys on the Royal Star. Those are the guys who would know if it's a good knife
Yeah,
or not. And
yeah.
what was there?
Oh, they loved it.
They
Yeah,
loved
yeah.
it?
I mean, I actually brought out a couple knives to them. Also, some knives from Bubba Blade. You know, I don't know if you've heard of that company, Bubba Blade, but
Yeah.
So they're starting to come onto the West Coast a little bit. They're going to be distributing out here a little bit. I actually put an order in for those, but those aren't going to be coming until right before the shows. You know, the PCS show and Fred Hall show, stuff like that. And we brought those to those guys too. They really liked them. But those are products that I think already are kind of proven. They've been out in the market on the East Coast quite a bit, those Bubba knives, and they're working pretty good. But this is something that I felt like was a little bit more of a, I don't know, almost like a West Coast look to it, kind of, you know, real basic and just kind of a high performance type of thing. I know that Danny Cadota is always talking about our West Coast kind of approach to things as being not so much on the color and style, but kind of a performance type of oriented thing. And to me, I feel the same way, and this kind of fits that profile to me. So
Yeah, perfect.
yeah,
Love
it's
it.
a super, super nice
I'll
product.
have to check that out and fillet a fish with that here myself.
Yeah.
Mackie and you guys, don't wait for us. Go ahead and eat. There's a rumor going on that Tyler Tanaka is flying in for the show tonight.
He is.
I don't know if
I
it's
don't know.
true.
I saw it somewhere online. Yeah.
My God. You guys went to Cedros together, didn't
Yes.
you? You fished in the same ponga?
We did
Yeah.
for our last day of the trip. I mean, even besides that, just hanging out with him, even from the very start, you know, it's just a really cool experience. I mean, you know, when you go fishing on these kind of trips, obviously, you know, guys are invested and they're guys who want to have a good time and are down there to kind of, you know, just kind of let it all out.
Yeah.
And Tyler is that guy, man. He's a guy who is from Southern California originally, and so he doesn't, you know, get to be around it as much as we do. So he makes sure he makes it count, and he goes down there, and he's all about one thing: catching yellows on surface iron, or squid treks, one of the two. But he's just down there to fish yellowtail in general, and so that's all his deal. You know, he goes down there with several jig sticks, and every year is trying to perfect his approach to it. You know, and every year is different. You know, because new reels come out, new line you're trying out, new jigs, and everything else, and so something that may have worked really good one year, maybe a little bit different the next year, you know, just based on. And I think this year we went like 4 times.
3 times.
3 times.
3 times the Cedros?
He went to 3.
Wow.
Yeah, once in one season. I mean, 3 times in one season.
Wow.
So I don't know how many times you've been down there. Now you must have been down there 15 times or something like that.
5 times.
But yeah, so he's been down there a bunch of times, and I'm sure every time he goes, you learn something new and you try something new, and so he's all about it. So that's kind of, I think we kind of, you know, really related really well on that, you know.
Yeah,
And so
because
on
you
the-
love that too.
Yeah, that's what I love to do. And on the last day of the trip, we had a couple guys who wanted to try some different things. So I had an opportunity to fish with both Reggie and Tyler, and all 3 of us too were kind of on the same page that day, and we put the hurt to them, and it was fun. It was just straight out fun. All of us fished really well together. We were fishing around each other so good, throwing iron. I mean, that's all we did for that whole morning, and we had a really good day of fishing. And what started out as kind of something that was good, it almost just kind of morphed into this perfect scenario where the wind died, the sun came up, the fish were up. I mean, it was just like, you know, we were catching fish through the whole trip, but you kind of had to work at it every day, you know. I mean, you catch a bunch. You're at Cedros, you're going to catch a bunch of yellows. But on our day, it just seemed like everything just was perfect, you know. I mean, there was nobody around us. Like in the morning, we were all together. All the pongas are kind of fishing the same area, running and gunning. You see the guys running around and stuff like that. And after a couple hours, it's like everybody disappeared, and the wind stopped, and it was just like
Wow.
paradise. I was like, what the heck? And it was just like biting, man. So
It's the single best day of fishing I've ever had.
Wow,
It
that
was-
says a lot. Tyler said the single best day of fishing
it was.
he's ever had in his life.
I mean, yeah, it was just so perfect, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, and
For you too?
I mean, I
Right
would
up
say
there?
as far as that kind of fishing for yellowtail and a silver siren, I mean, I don't think I've ever had a better. I haven't had a better couple of hours for sure. You know, I've gone on long trips where we've had other kinds of fishing where
Yeah.
it's been really good in different ways, but for that style of fishing, throwing a surface iron, I don't think I've ever had it any better. I mean, yeah, you can always say, well, I've caught a bigger fish or I've caught more fish here on a certain day or whatever, but it's just the way it all turned out. You know, like I said, with the weather and everything, that just kind of, it almost seemed like the sky's open and it was just us there in this like this perfect situation. It was weird.
It's almost sounding kind of spiritual.
It was. I mean,
it sounds like it.
I mean, the whole trip was great, and we had. I mean, I had an awesome time. I did a lot of cool stuff, but on that morning, it just like the fish, like Cejos was just kind of waiting for us to kind of come together, and the three of us just with the perfect situation. I mean, it felt like we could have kept going for days. You know, it was just like, man, we had to stop. This is just too crazy.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
We only fished it was from 7 to noon.
Yeah.
Fish
And
from
we
7 to
hooked up
noon.
Over 75 yellowtail.
75
It was
yellowtail.
insane.
We boated
Wow.
64.
Yeah.
Wow, what a day. Boated
awesome.
64.
And I mean, I got that one that was like a blue-looking thing. So even
It was a yellowtail?
It was a yellowtail, and I even asked Diego and Adriel that work on the boat that grew up on the island. I'm like, you ever seen anything? I asked Brian Sims. You know, he's been around long-range fishing for 40 years or something like that. He says he's never seen something like that. I'm like,
Did you get a photo of it?
yeah, I got a picture of it. Yeah.
Oh, I got to see that.
I mean, in the picture, it doesn't do it justice.
Right.
In the water, we almost didn't know what the heck I had hooked.
Wow.
You know, we're like, what the heck's that? You know?
It's a bluefin.
Yeah, we were like,
Or yellowfin.
yeah, we were like blown away of just how it all happened, you know? And it was
That's
just
crazy.
And when it came next to the boat, okay, well, that's a yellowtail, but even in the water, it looked different, you know? So the picture, you can see it's different, but you almost have to kind of like show you, oh, check this out, check this out. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, that's different. But when it happened, it was just almost like, what the heck is this thing, you know? So that was pretty cool. So, I mean, you know, just all the way around, it was just a cool morning.
Oh,
yeah.
it sounds
yeah.
like it. And then, you know,
PP.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. And then right after that, so we were kind of going around, just not really doing much. And so we decided to fish this one area. And then Tyler hooks like a monster on like the lightest rod that we have on the boat, you know. And I got that on film too, actually. And so, and he got a personal best. What was that, 46 or
No, 38.
38? So 38 pounder. I mean, that
Beautiful
thing was
fish,
gigantic.
Tyler.
I mean, pretty awesome, man.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome day.
I'll tell you, this is a pretty awesome night because Tyler's been a member of the Freeman Adventures family with his comments.
Since the beginning.
He and then to have him sitting
I
here.
know, he just walked in the door. I'm like, what?
It's like
Yeah.
so cool, man. Him and Mackie. I thought Mackie was flying in from
Yeah,
Tennessee.
you were saying. Yeah.
It's really great to have you here. Thank you. Thank you so much. You know, some people out there are like, where's Cedros? And what are you guys talking about? Why don't you let everybody know, who do you fish with down there?
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the island, since we're on the subject.
So Cedros Island is about 250 miles down from San Diego. It's a pretty big island, probably about, I don't know, I mean 25 miles long and about 4 miles wide, kind of like Catalina, but maybe a little bit wider. And so it's a destination type trip, you know. So we fly down there from the CBX, which is the airport down there in Tijuana. We personally have been going down there with Cedros Sport Fishing, which is, you know, Rosie, everybody knows is Rosie Flowers' you know, operation. And the operation itself, you got to, you know, tip my hat to what they've done over the years to make it trouble-free. You basically sign up, pay your money, and you just got to show up. You show up down there, and she's got everything ready. Even if you didn't have any tackle, you can go down there and still have a very successful trip. So she's got it all covered. Of course, everybody takes their own tackle, but I'm just saying, I mean, anybody can go down there and have a great trip.
Yeah.
So you go down there. Our trip is a 5-day trip. You fish for 4 days, actually 4.5 days, and it's an awesome fishing. So we're fishing on pongas. We fish every day from 6 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. So be advised for the guys that are looking to fish down there. It's a long day.
It
It
is.
is hardcore fishing. But if let's just say you're like, you know what, I only want to
Fish till
fish
morning.
till 12.
Yeah.
Drop you off at the marina, and they'll take you back to the resort, and that's not a big deal. In fact, I know we've done that before, and a lot of guys actually do that. So, but for the guys that wanted to have a hardcore experience, it's all day.
Yeah.
Primarily, the place is kind of known for yellowtail and calico bass. Those are the two kind of marquee species, and really more the yellowtail, and more along the lines of surface iron yellowtail. So for you guys that like to throw iron, it is probably the best place that you can pretty much predict that almost every trip is going to be the best you've ever had, just about. I mean, anybody who hasn't fished there probably will have that trip, of a lifetime there for sure. There's other kinds of destinations, like I'm saying, that you might catch more or even bigger ones, but just the way that we're fishing down there, it's as close as you're going to get to a skiff or a private boat here locally. The scenery is very similar to Catalina or San Clemente Island. The island looks pretty identical. And the way you're fishing them is run and gun, throwing surface iron. But it's kind of like, I'm sure you've gone through this many times where maybe you're running up the island or down the island, you see a bird school, and you get there and it's bonita.
Yeah.
Or you get there and it's mackerel, or it's yellows, but they don't bite.
Yeah.
Well, at Cedros, they're always yellowtail and they always bite. So it's crazy, So it's the same scene. We've seen it a million times in a row, and you almost can't believe that. Oh wow, it's yellowtail, and oh wow, they're biting like really, really good every cast at times, So
Do you ever get tired of catching yellowtail?
people have said that to me.
Yeah.
They go down there. Oh, I'm tired of catching the yellowtail.
What a great problem to have.
Yeah, and it's not for everybody. There's guys who will do that for a couple hours in the morning, and then they'll go fish calico bass, and then they'll go fish halibut, and then they'll go fish, grouper or something else, or maybe they'll go fish sheephead. Or I know we did one afternoon, me and Jody that were fishing together. We did pinto bass, which is something we targeted for kind of bringing home fish. So you're gonna mix it up, But it's also an a la carte type of trip. If all you wanted to do was fish pinto bass every day, you can do that all day.
Just tell your pongero.
You just tell the captain what you want to do.
Yeah.
Of course, he'll kind of give you a rundown of maybe what's a good game plan, because a lot of guys are going to go down there. They're not going to know exactly what to do. They're not going to tell the captain where to go.
Yeah.
But if you tell him, hey, you know what, we want to
catch.
We want to do yellowtail fishing. He might say, you know what, they haven't biting too good in the morning. Why don't we go do some bass fishing or halibut in the morning? They really start biting at around 10, and then at 10 o'clock we'll hit up the spot, or vice versa. Maybe they're only biting in the morning, and you don't want to burn spin your wheels the rest of the day. We'll go do something else. So that's one thing that they're really on top of is what's going on around the island. All the Ponga guys, because there's actually, I think now 4 operations that are running similar Ponga style trips. And so those guys all talk to each other. Most of those guys have had a long history of working with the co-op or divers or things like that. So they have an intimate knowledge of the island. It's not guys, it's not like they're bringing, new kids, that don't know how to run a boat. These guys are all super experienced.
Dialed into all the intel. Yeah.
And they all talk to each other for, to a great degree. So that's one thing that you're going to, if you go down there, they're constantly talking to each other throughout the day, giving each other updates. What are you guys doing? Well, my guys are doing this, I'm doing that, and so that's something that.
Are they talking on cell phones or their VHF?
No, on the VHF, yeah. A little bit of both, but mostly on the VHF. So yeah, I hear the chatter all day long, just, those guys talking to each other.
Yeah.
And as soon as we start hooking fish, they'll put it out there. All right, guys, we just got 4, all on the iron. Another guy might be, we got 2 on the troll, and it depends on the group and what they got going on. So you hear quite a bit of that chatter, and it's to their credit that they want to make sure that the whole group does as good as it can, so that their customers keep coming back. Because you don't ever know when that guy might be your customer, so they want to make sure everybody does really well.
And food, lodging, is there like a bar at the lodge or anything like that? Or you bring your own, or how does that all work?
So as far as the food, they, Rosie's operation, they have like one separate building that is just for the kitchen, and then for like an eating space, and we all eat together. So in the morning before we leave, 5 o'clock in the morning, we have breakfast. When we get back from the trip, we have a dinner together. The boat will bring your lunch with you. The boat will bring the lunch for us, and so we're eating on the boat.
Yeah.
I guess unless you left early, they probably could make some food for you for lunch or something like that. But typically, it's just breakfast and dinner. As far as your alcohol, guys, you can buy it on the island, or you can have them buy it for you. But you can bring your own too if you wanted to bring a bottle of something like that. But to be honest with you, it's sometimes it's a Baja experience in the sense you're in Mexico and you're fishing a panga. But sometimes I think people might have the idea, and maybe something that they'll do more like an Ensenada or Rosarito or a place like that where you fish for 4 or 5 hours, you come back, you go to the taco place, you go to a bar, you hang out, and you kind of have like a separate piece of your day.
Yeah.
Down there, I mean,
You're fishing or sleeping.
yeah, I mean, when you get back, you kind of may have those ideas, and you have dinner, and you might sit down for a little bit.
friggin'
rig up-
tired.
Yeah, you get your gear ready for the next day, and you have a beer, maybe or two, and you're like, man, I'm going to sleep, man. I'm tired. You
You
know,
got to get up at 4:30 or
yeah.
whatever it is.
So
Yeah.
part of it, I'm sure, is just me. You know, getting to a certain age, it's just not. I can't do it like I used to, type
Yeah.
of thing. So, but you could. You know, you could do that. And the lodge itself is super nice. They have a lot of seating area where if you had a group that was going to hang out, you can. I know that they have two different areas. One that'll probably seat 6 or 7 people. Another area that'll probably sit like the 10 or 12 people. It's only 12 to a group. And so if everybody wanted to hang out like that, it's definitely something you could do. But my experience so far has been that everyone kind of, I think, goes down there with that intention, and an hour after dinner, everyone's out. You know?
Well, I would
Yeah.
definitely be one of those. That's
But they got
going out.
TVs in all the room, and they have, you know, internet and stuff like that. So, you know, if there's baseball or football going on, we've watched, you know, ball games down there. Not a big deal.
Yeah, well, it sounds
Yeah.
great. Tyler, you can't wipe that smile off your face, man.
It's my favorite place to fish.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's pretty
Favorite
hard
place.
to beat. I mean, and it's for certain kind of guys. And we're not going to catch tuna down there. There's no marlin. There's none of that kind of stuff where you might catch in other places in Baja. So it is a different kind of experience. You don't have a swim up pool, bar, swim up bar. You don't have that kind of stuff there like you would have at the East Cape or something like that. So it is a different type of experience. Even though you're in Baja, it doesn't, to me, is not the Baja experience. It's really something that they've created for the hardcore San Diego, Southern California, surface iron guy. Really,
Right.
I mean, it's you can do lots of things there, but I think the surface iron guy really is a guy who, if that's something you'd like doing, I don't think there's any better place.
You know, back in the 60s, 70s, Ensenada was the yellowtail capital of Baja. It's no longer, man. It's Cedros, isn't it?
Cedros, I would
By
think so.
far.
Yeah, just the access, and more just the consistency. Like I'm saying, I mean, I'm sure there's places down Baja where you could have that day on any given day, but Cedros just provides it on such a regular basis that I just can't
It's
see
just-
going down there and not having a similar experience.
I mean, my brother and I, every Christmas, would drive to Laredo. And, we'd be driving down to Laredo, and some pickup truck would cross in front of us, and the guy'd have, like, yellows sticking out of that. Oh, man, we'd have some really good days, but not like what you're... There's
It's
never
wild.
a time where we had 75 yellowtail.
It's
If we
wild.
got out of there with 10, 12, we had a bitchin' day.
Yeah.
But this is beyond that.
And that was, literally, less than a half days of fishing. I mean, we still had 4 more hours if we wanted,
Yeah.
to do it. So it's pretty wild, man.
And the amount of fish you can bring back, how much is that?
So that's based on a total allowance weight. So you're allowed 72 pounds to come back with you, and that includes your reels, your tackle, and your clothing. So depending on how much stuff you take down is what you're going to be able to bring back. So most of the guys usually end up being around, 30 to 50 pounds of fish is what you're going to end up depending on what you take down. There probably more of them closer to the 40 to 50 pounds. I think would be pretty average. But that's the real common question that we get. And there's a few things that you can do to try to get your weight down. So for you guys that are planning to go down there, I mean, it's about how much clothing you take. You don't need a whole lot. You don't need deck boots. You really don't even need to take a lot of changes of clothing because they have a laundry service that's very efficient. It all gets done the same day. As far as your tackle, you need probably a quarter of what you think you need. I mean, that's probably one of the hardest things about going down there is that, the tackle that you're going to take, although Tyler had a rough day that day, but the tackle you're going to take, you just don't lose that much tackle. Generally, you just don't lose that much tackle. I've been down there only 2 times, so I can't say I know everything about what there is to be had down there, but I haven't lost 1 jig. So, whereas when you go through your tackle and you're looking at your jigs and you're trying to pick out what to take, very easy, you're going to get 20 or 30 of them because I want to catch them on a 7X. I want to catch them on a JRI. I want to catch them on a Tatty 45, a Tatty. So by the time y'all get done with it with all the different colors, you're going to have a whole box of jigs.
Too much.
Just too much,
Yeah.
yeah. But if you wanted to do that, that's fine. It's just going to affect how much weight of fish you're going to be able to bring back. So limiting your tackle is a very, very big deal. If that's a concern.
What if you just bring surface irons?
You could just bring surface irons if you wanted, but there's also going to be some lead, like when we did that pinto bass fishing, it was kind of a dropper loop type thing that we had to fish deep. So all those singers you just leave down there. And maybe even like I fished some knife jigs for those pinto bass as well. I just left those down there too. So, maybe take some things down there that you're willing to leave. But the surface iron, you're right, Michael, it doesn't weigh too much. But by the time you get 20 of them, if you could just take like 10 of them, take half of that, you'll be good too.
And you can buy some jigs. They have a little store there, don't
so
they?
they do have a store down there. So if you happen to have a bad day and you run out of jigs, and you know what, a bad habit of mine is no matter anywhere I go that there's a jig that I don't have, I'm gonna buy it. So every year that I go down there, I buy a few jigs for no reason.
Yeah.
I don't need them.
Yeah.
But so they do have jigs down there too. Yeah.
Too
They have
funny.
like 5 or 6 less this year that I bought, but I'm sure they replenished since then. Yeah.
And do you think the appropriate time to be down there is 5 days? Is what you said? That sounds like a good time to you?
They do like a 4-day and a 5-day interval. I think it's because of the way the flights are coming from down there. I think either is good. I mean, for me, I think if I could do like a 15-day down there, I'd be a little happier, But
It sounds like you'd do an 8-day or a...
yeah.
or
You
a
probably could.
6-day.
I have a few customers who do that. They'll do it like a 2 back-to-back trips. you know?
Yeah, why not, man?
So, but yeah, I mean, for me, the longer the better. I don't know if I could ever have enough of that kind of fishing myself, but I would say get down there, look at the schedule. I think all of the different operations have their schedules online, and just reserve a spot, man. It's a pretty awesome experience.
It sounds like it.
On the website.
So it'll be basically depending on which one you have, which service. So there's Cedros Sport Fishing, Cedros Outdoors. There's Cedros Sport Fishing with Toro, and then there's Cedros
Sport fishing and diving.
So I'm sure if you Google them, you'll find the exact. Sometimes they'll have a different, maybe suffix to the.
And they're
website.
all quality, same thing, pretty much?
I mean,
or-
you're fishing the same place. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have guys that are gonna say the steak's better at this place or that place, or the couches have a little more cushion here or there, but you're just not doing that much of your time at the resort, to be honest with you.
Yeah, right.
I mean, as long as you got warm water and they have internet. I'm sure they all have internet. I mean, you're just not spending that much time at the resort. So for me, my opinion is I don't know if it matters that much. Although Rosie's outfit there, I mean, it's beautiful down there. But I'm sure the other ones have some things that maybe this one doesn't have, and this one has some things that one doesn't have. But you're fishing with the captains on the pangas, and those guys are really the ones that are providing your experience. So that's how I would look at it.
Are they all juxtaposed right next to each other? Or are they,
Yeah.
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 So you can walk over and see your buddies if they're at a different lodge. And
Oh, as far as the lodges?
Yeah, the
No.
lodge. Oh, they're all over the place.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. You definitely, I wouldn't say is not really walking distance. I mean, it's walking distance. You can walk there, but
it's a pretty good hike.
yeah. You're probably not going to see them.
Yeah.
Except for maybe down at the marina or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, that sounds, I mean, we've talked about this before, but this
It's
just makes
pretty
me
awesome.
even want to go back again, even
is pretty
more,
awesome.
man. Yeah. And are you sold out on your trip for next year?
I'm pretty sure at the moment she has it set up that way. I don't know if she's really opened up the schedule for next year already. But I would imagine everybody on that trip, wants to go already. But yeah, I would say
Tyler
by
lost
March.
this one?
I would say by March, those trips are pretty decided.
Yeah.
But that being said, I would say, if you just called up Rosie and said, look, let me know when something opens up. She's really good about communicating, and there'll be something that'll open up within your time frame.
yeah.
She runs 2 lodges actually, so she's kind of they're hosting 24 people at once. So you're basically they have a good amount of people flowing through that service. So I would imagine you'd be able to find something in your window of time.
All right, perfect. Big studio audience. You guys want to eat? Go ahead, Mackie. You guys can eat while you're watching the show, right?
We need,
Just go ahead, tease
Hold on.
Sam and I.
I'll be right back.
Where are you? Oh, Sam's gonna go eat.
Oh no, you guys got plates in. Yeah, we're good. Oh, okay. I saw that coming up, so I didn't.
Go ahead, Michael. You want to eat
Question
something? I
wise,
know you. Go ahead.
Yeah, my deposit,
Everyone can eat
my
except for
$500
Yeah.
deposit for your trip,
Uh huh.
I went in October.
Oh, that's right. You already used your reservation.
I went on my first
Huge studio audience tonight. I can't believe it. This is our biggest studio audience. People flying in from Tennessee.
Well, there's a barbecue.
Oh, thank you,
Yeah,
Mackie.
yeah.
We heard
There we go.
food here at Sam.
Yes. Huge.
Free
And
food, I showed up.
there we go.
It's only
man.
$10 a person. It's a
Yeah.
fucking deal.
Yeah, well, it's $10. Yeah, every 10 minutes, isn't it? Hey, who's winning the football game? Just kidding. All right, good stuff. Hit that like button. Share these videos with a friend. Make sure you subscribe to the Freeman Adventures YouTube channel and tick that little bell so you'll be notified when there's new content. You want me to go back to some more questions
yeah,
here?
I think
Why not,
I'm
right?
behind here.
All right. Let's see.
Tinkovich.
The cranker, yeah. He's talking about S&H stamps. We'll skip over that. Arj Maury. Hi, got a 22-speed Saltiga. Wanted to set it up for fly lining yellowtail and smaller bluefin tuna, like 30 to 50-pound class. What line should I put, 30 or 40? And what rod would you recommend I pair it with? Excellent question.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Sam has an excellent answer.
Yeah, so that reel I actually have myself. I was using it on my 11-day quite a bit down there at the ridge fishing 30-pound. So I'm fishing 30-pound top shot on mine, and it's done really, really good on, tuna down there from, all that stuff we had down there, 25 to 60-pound fish. The reel is pretty powerful, so you can fish heavier line on it if you wanted, but that's just kind of where it fits in my lineup, 30-pound top shot. I have 50-pound braid on it. It probably has like 350 yards or something like that, maybe a little bit more. As far as a rod, I think I was fishing it on a 7.5 foot UC. It might have been a Towfish Junior. But something like that would be good. Something really like 20 to 50, 7.5 to 8 foot long is what I would match that up with.
He said he was looking at the Phoenix Black Diamond 808 or 809 for that reel. Is that a good choice?
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, either of those. I probably would go with the 809 if you're looking to target some of that larger tuna. The 808 would be good for like a local small yellowtail or something like that. But that 809, if you start hooking those bigger 40, 50-pound tuna, that's probably what I would want to have on that reel.
Hey, there's freaking wings here, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
Hey, thanks, everybody.
Show's
It's been a
over,
great show. Yeah. And Chad Christopher Klein is around here somewhere. He's provided a lot of this. Someone's provided the chicken wings. I don't know, probably Doug?
Eric.
Eric. You're the man. We love Eric. Eric, you're welcome.
Hell yeah.
Huh? What's that?
Soju.
Oh, soju for you. Yeah. There you go, Tyler. You gotta celebrate all these great people here.
Yeah.
No. No. All right. Mike the Cranker Krinkovich says scrambled eggs, 6X Juniors. It's what's for breakfast.
That's right.
That's for sure. Scott Bouchard. Scott, I hope you're winning your bet tonight. You owe me $2,000. Roy Rose is now working on the Royal Star.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw
What do you
him.
think about that?
He's on the 15-day right now, I think.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty big trip. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I'm not sure if he's filling in or if he's on there regular. I'm sure we'll have some type of news here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not going to say anything. I don't know either.
You don't know?
I want to get involved in that again.
Yeah. You've already done too much.
But Roy's a great guy, and he's on board there.
And he'd be a great addition.
And Diego said he's so happy that Roy's
really?
on here. Yeah, Diego.
Cool.
They're on Hurricane Bank.
They're down there fishing big fish with a pretty special group, actually. Chris Yamada, he goes down there and does like a very limited load.
Chris Yamada, I know him, right?
Yeah, very big fish oriented guys.
Yeah.
And so, they're down there with the A-team.
All right, cool. Scott, thanks for breaking that incredible story here to us. Robert Graber, what? Made 2 live shows in a row, albeit a bit late. Wahoo! Good evening, Sam, Phil, and the Freeman Adventures family. Barbecue. Tyler, you got to eat, man. I'm telling you. Partake. Is it good? Oh, my God. Michael gives the thumbs up on the beef. Dan has been over there scrounging for at least a half hour. Mackie is outside doing something. And Mike Krankovich says Scott is working on the Indy with the Cranker in April.
Working?
No, he's not.
I don't know.
I don't think so. Let's hope not. Andrew H., what is good rod to teach the kids on how to cast conventional reels that's not too heavy? Great question, Andrew.
Depends on how big the kids are. These kids these days. I mean, you get a 10-year-old, man. They're like 5 foot tall.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I would say if you just stuck with something like in maybe a bait caster reel and a bait caster rod is definitely probably what I would start. Something like a Tranx 400 or a Lexa 400, something like that. And most of the brands, whether it's going to be from Phoenix or Daiwa or Shimano, are going to have a bait caster style rod. So meaning something that has a trigger on it. And most of those rods are going to be pretty much all graphite, so they're super lightweight. It's not going to be the farthest casting rod, but it's definitely going to be easy for a younger kid to handle. So that's probably where I would start, is a bait caster 400 size reel and one of those bait caster rods.
Kids fish free on the Island Spirit this Sunday out of Ventura Sport Fishing, VenturaSportFishing.com or 805-676-3474. Same thing on the Monte Carlo, Monday through Friday. Kids fish free.
Kids fish free.
With a paid adult. And on the weekends, it's $25 for a kid.
Nice.
22nd Street Landing. So there's some kids' opportunities for you all. Mike Krinkovich, who is all over us tonight. Mike, it's good to see you. Rich? Yeah, that's the guy's name. Richard was Scott's roommate. He was a solid guy and a certified Team Scott member. Yes, he does look like Dan Lightfoot. That's the guy, Richard. He does. So there you go. The poor guy had a room with Scott Bucher, though.
Yeah. She gets some kind of award.
Oh, kidding, man. Or, maybe $100 off on a psychiatrist visit. One of those. All right. Man, there's a lot of freaking questions here, Sam. This is a very popular show, I think, because Tyler is here tonight.
Could be.
All right, I'm trying to get back to where I'm supposed to be here. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. Chris Navarro. It's been forever since we asked Michael about Paulina. Is he getting her a Christmas card or gift? The Paulina thing is over, right?
Yeah, it's over.
It's over? Okay.
Yeah.
And you have a new girlfriend? All right. Did Paulina cry? I think she did. Paulina, what? Susan, is her name Susan? Oh, he's moved on. Who asked that question? Chris Navarro.
Chris Navarro, yeah.
He's moved on, and it's probably, an older woman sometimes is a good thing, but when they're like 40 years older, it doesn't work out too well. So, all right, Isaac, aka the Sack. I thought you were going to be here tonight, Isaac, but you couldn't make it. Good evening. Catching up. Hello, Sam and Phil, Freeman Adventures family. Tyler from Tennessee. Sam, I got busy. Haven't had a chance to check in to see if you still have older Fathom 40 in the shop.
I had one last week when you asked.
When
I don't
it's
know if I got
gone?
any more, man. Can't be waiting on stuff like that, Isaac.
God. Michael,
I'll look again, though. Maybe I might find one more for you.
God, that Mackey's just like all over the food over there. Mackie brought the rice. Eric supplied the chicken wings. And Christopher, where is he? Chad, you're going to take a bow before this show is over, man. Definitely. Barbecued up a storm down here. You're still welcome to come down. We may not have any food left.
I know.
But that's the way it goes. All right, Michael, Ethan says hello. Michael Krinkovich, back again, Michael. Woo! Cedro sounds like the real Baja experience. In the raw. Calm down there now. Count me in someday for sure.
You got it. Someday, maybe.
Yeah, someday. Count him in.
Yeah.
Write his name down for someday. He'll be there. Yeah. Rob Geitz? Rob.
Giddies.
Rob, it's great to have you here. Thank you. I'm new to this show. Rob, boy, did you make a mistake. There's still time to change the channel.
We got another one.
Can we talk about something serious here? This dumb barbecue and all these Barbie dolls and everything. I want to know about weedless setup, strategy on jerk baits in the surf, Lucky Craft, strategy, weight, matching issues, hookup ratio issues, action effects, etc. Damn it, let's get serious on this show.
All of that right now?
Yeah.
He's at the wrong show.
Yeah. Rob, tune in next week. We'll see what we can do. Take a little bit of that.
So, wow, that's a lot of stuff to unpack there. But when you're talking about a lot of this stuff, it is going to be more into the terminal tackle. What kind of look at this guy. What kind of lead heads you got
Are
going
you going to
on?
steal one of those?
No,
I'm thinking about it.
He's gonna bite your hand off.
Yeah. Oh, there goes Tyler.
Yeah.
Gotta check out that.
Hey, Tyler, they just hit you with a scoop, man. You're boiling on it now.
Yeah.
So good.
But Rob, any of that stuff you want to know about, man, just pose a question. Not like 10 questions, but yeah, we'll definitely help you out.
All right, well, let's do. How about strategy on fishing a jerkbait in the surf?
You just wind it and you cast it out, you wind it back. Then after that, you cast it again. Wind it
Rob's
back.
never going to watch again.
Jerk baits in the surf.
Yes.
So actually, you're probably going to fish it just like you would anywhere else. You want to put some action into it, so you're going to have sometimes a straight wind,
Yep.
but sometimes you're going to jerk it, like the name suggests, and pause. A lot of these baits, these jerk baits, are suspending. Those Lucky Crafts specifically are a suspending bait, and what that really means is that it floats very, very slowly. It's not going to suspend, meaning that it's going to stay in one spot the whole time, but it'll stay in that spot long enough until you get your next crank in, and a lot of times you'll get bit on the pause. So
Yes.
that's probably one of the more common things people will do, is either going to be a kind of a erratic stop and go, or even a long pause. Sometimes that long pause, it seems like, well, it's not doing anything, but it gives that halibut a little bit
To
of a
get up
chance
there,
to kind of get
yeah.
up there and decide it wants to do something.
Wind it slower, jerk it, like you said.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you stop, like you said.
Yeah, and also too, don't use too heavy of a line. Especially in the surf, guys are using 20 and 30 pound braid max, and a lot of that too is going to help the action of the lure as well. 20 pound braid and like a 20 pound leader, 15 pound leader, or something like that. Some guys will look at something like that, get it off the wall, and it's like, man, $22, and they're like, I want to fish 40 pound on this thing. Well, it ain't going to cast nowhere, and
It's not going to get bit.
that heavy mono is just going to constrict its action. So
Yeah.
make sure that you're helping that thing along a little bit.
All right, Rob, we will answer the rest of your questions next week, so tune in. Again, I promise you. Isaac wants to know if you got room for a 10-foot
No
jig stick
problem.
on the plane.
No problem. You could probably take a 14-foot rod if you
Wow.
wanted. Yeah. There's a lot of room. They basically are going to lay the rods down in the aisle. And so the whole length of that, cabin area is how long a rod you can take. But 10-footers, no problem.
All right, perfect.
Sells two-piece jig sticks here.
Oh, that's right.
You can get them apart.
Two-piece jig sticks. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Remember we did that, right?
We tried taking it
couldn't
apart.
get
We never could. Yeah.
Was that on live?
Yes.
I think it was.
Yes.
Tyler's laughing. Yeah, nothing like live TV, man.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to screw up. All right, Mike Krikovich says nothing better than yellowtail on the surface iron, to which Tyler would agree, and you would too, Sam, and so would I.
Yeah.
There's a visual. There's just so exciting, right?
Yeah, that's another thing I didn't even notate, is that on that trip, part of it because it was just, the weather had cleared up so much and the water was so flat calm. I would say half the fish that we hooked, you could see them eat the jig. So, I mean, it was just an awesome morning. Awesome morning.
Tremendous, Chris Navarro. Wish you were here, Chris. Sam, on your Cedros fly down trips, how often are you changing your mono top shots? Daily? What pound Iser are you using?
I've used 40 and 50 down there. I think that originally I took more 40 than 50 only because I'm just more used to it. Casting distance is the reason I like that 40 pound. I just cast farther than 50. But now after doing a couple of trips, and in fact this last trip, I was using mostly just 50 pound. You don't really need to cast as far as you would think. That fish is really just on you. Especially with that pongo with the outboard shut off, it doesn't get spooked, and even with no chum or nothing like that, those fish are they're a lot closer to the ponga.
Yeah.
So 50 pound is what I use. As far as changing it every day, I would say most likely yes, kind of like every day and a half. A lot of it's going to depend on just kind of what it went through. Some of the areas that we fished, especially on that last morning, we were fishing. Every single time you made a cast, you can see kelp stringers underneath us, and so half the fish we're going to get under that kelp stringer at least part of the fight.
Yeah.
And so on that day, I definitely would have been, for sure, I would have changed it. There's been other times when I've been down there and other days where we were fishing kind of almost open water, and this fish probably got 200 feet down. You're never going to get down to any structure, and so on that specific day, I didn't change it. But if you change it every day, it probably would be all right. Although I will say this is, on this 11 day, I had the chance to try out some braid, some different braid. It was a Suffix. Actually, I have a spool of it. I'll show it to you here in a little bit. But it was a 80-pound Suffix.
You just want to go over where the chicken wings are.
Check it out, baby. Yeah. But I've never been the kind of guy to fish straight braid on jigs. It's just I've tried it. It isn't that I don't like it. I've tried it and it was never successful, and I was never able to do it. But I was able to do it. So on this trip here, using that line, it was an 80-pound, and it's kind of a little thinner than other brands of 80. But man, that stuff cast really, really good. So That being said, I think this next year, both of those reels that I take, those two Trinidad 20s, I'm going to have filled with that 80-pound
Oh, yeah?
Suffix braid. Yeah, that stuff was really, really, really good.
Uh-huh.
I almost couldn't believe it. And to me, it's turned over a new leaf in surface iron fishing because I know that's going to even maybe provide some different action to some jigs and being able to experiment with some stuff that until now I haven't been able to do.
Excellent. Sounds good.
Let me go get that line.
Yeah,
ahead.
Rob is back with us. He says he's having salad issues lately in the surf in Carlsbad. Rob, I would recommend Farmers Market. They usually have some better produce, and I think you'll find that quite good. You know, when you're fishing the surf and you get too much kelp, it can really screw up your day. I get that. And many times what I find is I'll look out and I'll see all that kelp. I walk my way out of it. Sometimes I've got to walk a half a mile. Sometimes I walk a mile. But sometimes that gets caught up in different currents and it rolls up on a particular part of the beach you're on, Rob, and you can literally walk your way out of it. Other times, you'll put in that mile walk and get your step count up. I mean, it's all a win-win when you think about it. But, you know, just walking out of it, you just look at it and I say, okay, I'm just going to start walking in one direction or the other and see if I can walk out of this kelp. And then all of a sudden, you look and it's all clear, it's good, you can fish. And then after 15, 20 minutes, maybe it gets all kelped up. For sure, you're going to have trouble with those jerk baits like Lucky Crabs. When you've got a lot of kelp, you're fishing, you know, like a chrome crocodile or a Castmaster. I like to fish those in the surf. And it's funny, you know, I mean, when the bite is really, really good, if you can just stay away from that kelp, you can get a bite.
believe it.
But
It's
so
a
many
tough
times
cast,
you're
so
just
good.
getting hung up and it becomes really frustrating. So I get what you're talking about. You can try to fish bait around that kelp, but you'll get screwed up in it also. So it's just a tough kind of condition that you have to deal with. And like I say, many times
stuff was
you
pretty
can
impressive.
walk your way out of it. So
I might try this.
I highly recommend you try that. Cue Ball says, Sam, Bill, what's up? Hey, Cue Ball, good to have you back with us again. Sam's got that Spectra or that, what is
Yeah.
it? There it is. Do you like this better than anything else on the market? Sounds like you do.
Well, for that specific purpose, you know, like I said, it's something that, you know, and I'm not going to say I've tried every single one, so I don't have, you know, a completely objective look at it, but just based on this one trip, you know, it worked really, really good. So to me, for that specific purpose, that's probably going to be something I'm going to try now. Maybe I just, you know, was casting downwind all day and it was easy to cast, but, you know, and we didn't have a ton of surface iron fishing on that trip, but I caught a bunch of tuna on it, a few yellowtail on it, and I was just, you know, on that rod, it just worked out just perfectly. So to me, it's going to be something that in that capacity, it's going to be what I'm going to be trying out next year.
All right, excellent stuff.
You used it with the short leader?
Yep.
Like a
80-pound. Yeah.
leader?
Yeah,
Sam
little piece
fished
of
with a
80-pound.
short leader, Tyler was saying.
Yeah, he was asking me if, yeah, it was about 3 feet of 80-pound, actually fluorocarbon. That's just kind of what I had on there. I got some 60 to 80-pound tuna, a whole bunch of nice big yellowtail. It was the other part of it too that is I've used other braids for just, you know, bait fishing, is that when you're fishing that short leader, you can really, really put the wood to that fish, man. I almost felt like this is going to be deadly at Cedros. You know, now you're going to be able to have a situation with no stretch, and you hook the fish way, way far away. If you're willing to put the work in and pull hard, you're going to be able to really beat up a fish.
Oh, that's cool.
It's going to be cool.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Ard Mari says, okay, nice. So if I put it with the 809 and 40-pound braid, I should be set.
Yeah, I think you'd be good with that for sure.
Chris Navarro, Sam, what brand Spectra do you put on your personal reels?
So we were just talking about this. This is something, this Suffix 832, I'm going to put on my two Trinidads for fishing surface iron. As far as for my other stuff, fly line fishing and things like that, I actually use a variety of lines. I mean, there's a lot of good ones out there. I'm not too stuck on any one brand, for sure. I think that when I'm talking to people about braid, you know, I'll bring it out to the counter and let them feel it. And some guys like the feel of one over the other. I don't think there's, you know, a braid out there that's the best for everything. And so that's a tough one to answer. I kind of have everything on my reels. On my bigger reels, I'm going to have some hollow. Smaller reels, I'm not. So I kind of use everything there, Chris.
All right, very good. Israel de la Cruz says, Sam, for a Collinet trip, what gear do you recommend? I'm planning on jumping on a trip in January. Love Collinet.
Yeah, typically that's going to be more rock cod fishing. than anything else. Sometimes they will catch some yellows.
Yeah.
So even on
Sometimes
the
it gets
yellowtail,
pretty good, actually.
yeah, in January, I mean, it's definitely going to be more of a crapshoot as far as the yellowtail, but they do live down there. And so I would bring some heavy yo-yos, you know, your 6Xs, something like that. And then plenty of 16-ounce sinkers. Well, not plenty, maybe like 5 or 6 16-ounce sinkers. Now down there, you can kind of go with a 5-hook ganyan. It's kind of like a Baja style ganyan, you know. You can load up, right?
Can you go with a 10 hook?
I'm sure you could. Yeah,
Let's do it, baby.
You know, down there,
Sign
that
me
rock
up.
cutting, you know, there is a limit, but
You might as well get your limit on one drop.
yeah, you're harvesting down there. It really isn't sport fishing so much. The fishing is pretty dang good. But on the yellowtail side, maybe take a couple of Rapalas if you guys want to troll around a little bit, and some heavy yo-yos. The surface iron, I mean, you know, if it was me, I always take a surface iron rod no matter what. You just never know. I wouldn't think be the chances would be real high that you're going to use it on a trip like that in January. But the yo-yo iron might be something. And sometimes that yo-yo iron in some of those high spots will also catch lingcod. And so it might be something like of a double duty.
All right, good stuff. Back to what braid do you recommend? I think we've covered that, right? And he wants to know, is it just a personal choice pretty much? Or?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there are some instances in which I would, recommend something based on maybe a diameter or something like that. If you're putting it on a small reel, like I know he was asking about that Saltiga 20. That Saltiga 20, it's a small size reel for sure, but even 50-pound braid in most brands, you're going to hold more than enough line. And that 40-pound for sure, you're going to hold enough line. So there are times where maybe if a guy wanted to fish, like let's say on a bait caster, and they're, in some situations they might fish 80-pound braid if they're fishing some heavy structure, but if it's going to be more of an all-around approach to the reel, they might fish some 50-pound braid to give them a little more capacity. So in this case here, that Saltiga 20 with 50 or 40, you're going to be good.
All right, good stuff. If you're wondering what all these toys are all about, these are from Doug Tilk tonight. They're all going to go down to Mexico for Dia de Reyes or the Feast of the Epiphany. What's that?
Not tonight.
Who knows? Maybe the knife will go, right? We sending the knife down to the kids down there in Mexico?
I don't know, man.
Eric, thanks for pointing that out. All the toys out there. I don't even think that's going to the kids.
Yeah, no.
All right.
Not on my reels.
Isaac, a $20 bill, man. Thank you. Stand up and take your hat off and salute Isaac with me together. Beautiful. Thank you, Michael. A beautiful thing indeed. Really, really appreciate that. Tyler Tanaka, I thought he was here.
That's what that noise was.
Oh, what is that? Oh,
Oh, okay. Okay.
no, that's all right. Don't worry about it. Sam, Tyler Tanaka, if you were to get a big gun setup for giant yellowfin tuna for Phil's 8-day next year, is Tyler going with us? What would you recommend in a seeker and pen combo? For your information, I already have a 2x4 with Vizix 20.
That's a great combo right there. Loaded with the 100-pound braid, I think you're going to be in really, really good shape. I personally have a Vizix 30, and so very, very similar reel, just a little bit wider. And the reason I use that reel is that I also will troll with it on my 11-day, so it becomes a double duty reel. And sometimes I even fish a kite with it. But for just straight fly lining, the kind of fishing that they had on that big bluefin, I will say that was kind of not the norm for an 8-day trip. But I don't know.
Oh, on our last trip?
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding, man.
Yeah, I don't know what
We
the
hit
norm
the
is.
jackpot.
I know. I don't know what the norm is anymore. So
Yeah, right.
Maybe the 300-pounders next year. I
Yeah,
don't know,
really,
man.
really.
But
Are
yeah.
you going on that trip?
I'm on the wait list.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Make sure you let her know that you want a room with Scott Buchert.
Yeah.
That's a big wait list, let me tell you.
and then he'll instantly be on the trip. I know that's
Yeah, really.
That's open, yeah.
Somebody wants to sleep with Scott Buchert. You're on. We finally found somebody.
Finally got somebody.
Yeah, I'll visit your stateroom on a regular basis. Going in there, rip Scott's socks off or whatever.
The doll.
Yeah.
The doll for Scott, exactly. All right, cue ball. Nothing like that perfect cast and perfect take.
That's right, man. It's pretty awesome down there.
Michael Krinkovich, me and Scotty, see what I'm talking
he's
about
honing
here?
in on
I
this
think he
deal.
wants that,
Honing
yeah.
in on this deal.
Yeah, Mike wants the room with. And Phil on the April trip, on the Indy 5-day in April. Scotty will be working or helping. Get ready to rumble, baby. Well,
man.
maybe he knows something I don't know.
So you got an April 5-day?
Yeah.
Man, that stuff, I wonder if it's still, I mean, that'd be cool if that stuff's still around.
Oh
for
my
then.
God, yeah,
Gosh.
wouldn't it?
That'd be incredible.
April 21st through the 26th is
Man.
that trip. Yeah, it could be because you were
could
actually
be.
talking about it on our last
Yeah.
show. Like it might hang out.
It's still biting.
It's still there.
Oh man.
And the water's not going to get
Cold.
a whole lot colder.
No.
It's
No.
it's almost bottomed out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then it's going to start, before you know
Gosh,
it.
man, that's crazy.
Oh my God! Yes, that'll be great. But what does he know about Scott working on the Independence? I don't believe
Well,
that.
you didn't spend 8 days with him, so
What?
Scott's he's got something good up his sleeve, I think.
Maybe. I'll have to talk to Scott and see what kind of scam he's running on this guy. Chad Christopher. I thought he was here cooking up a storm for us. Sam, I'm heading out on the Island Spirit with Freeman Adventures December 20th to the Hidden Reef. Hopefully they'll be able to find it. Is there any jigsaw?
Jigs.
Jigs.
Yeah.
Is there any jigs? Yeah, is there any jigsaw puzzles you would recommend on the way out to kill the time? Are there any jigs you would use to catch giant lingcod?
Man, that's a tough one right there. I mean, in
That squid
general,
Rex is something else.
in general, anything bigger. I think that with lingcod, you're trying to kind of, draw on their predatory instincts, and so the hard thing about it is that hidden reef, I think, is a deeper area. So it's sometimes harder to fish a certain jigs. So if it was me, I probably would be fishing kind of a longer knife jig is what I would probably start off with. If the boat happens to have some bigger bait, like some mackerel, then that would be a number one kind of choice. It's usually not the case, but you never know. Also, too, if they have big sardines, maybe even put like 2 sardines on a big hook or something like that. You just kind of want to appeal to their more predatory instincts, and so that's the way I would approach it. But you're also going to have to kind of look at what the conditions are. If there's a little bit of wind and you guys are drifting too fast, there's some baits that just won't ever get down. Traditionally up there, they'll fish a lot of those big lead heads with the big tail. It's just too big of a profile. And so I think that there's a good chance that they just will never get down. So I'd probably just looking from right now for that trip, I would start off by picking out some good sized knife jigs. Nothing really specific as far as a color or nothing like that. If I was going to choose a color, maybe something in an orange or a red to kind of mimic a rockfish, because they do eat rockfish down there. But, that's not as big a deal as just getting down to them with something large.
All right, good stuff. Cue Ball says Cedros is yellowtail heaven. Everything you've ever dreamed of doing to a yellowtail, you can do at Cedros.
That's Cedros.
Woo. Wow, Cue Ball. Rob is back. Oh, I screwed up and misread his entire question. When I went into that half-hour diatribe on what to do if there's too much salad, I wasn't even answering the question that he asked. Sorry, Rob. You've misread. I'm asking about weedless models on jerkbait. Sam?
Modifications.
Modifications, yes.
Yeah, there's not much you can do. I guess you can throw some single hooks on there to try to help, free yourself of some of that kelp. But I overheard Phil talking about it a little bit. Sometimes that kelp is just going to be around, and even though you can maybe try to change the hooks or something like that, it's just going to get caught even on the front of it. If you're getting just a lot of that grass on your line, you're going to have to just walk down the beach and just find a cleaner part of the beach. And there's times where it's there, and next day you'll go fish the same spot and there's no grass.
Yeah.
So don't write it off as a spot you can't fish. And if you're fishing good one day and you come back the next day and there's no kelp, it's just part of the deal. So I think what Phil was saying is sometimes you can see that kelp from above as you're parking or getting down to the beach.
Yep.
A lot of times we get down and we park, we get our stuff out of the car, and you just want to run down to the beach. And so we don't take the time to look at that. But if you do have a good vantage point and you can assess that, and you can start, okay, well, it looks a little bit more kelpy to the left. Well, that day you might work to the right, or vice versa. So that's probably going to be the biggest thing, is just avoiding it to begin with.
That Torrance Beach area is good for that because you got
Right.
that high vantage point, right?
Right.
Do
For
exactly
sure.
what you're talking about. All right, very good. There you go, Rob. Jonathan K. Hey, Jonathan, what's the name of the suffix?
The suffix 832, and they just started making it in white. Before they didn't make it in white, so that's what I have here. I guess it wouldn't really matter too much as far as that part of it, but it is suffix 832.
All right, Jeff Fuchs. Hey, Jeff, good to see you. Michael, love the merch. Making me hungry. Tacos.
Tacos.
Yes, for sure. Jonathan K. Is it thinner than the Max Quattro?
You know, I don't think it is, but it's probably in between that Max Quattro and the regular Power Pro, I would say. I haven't really put it on a whole lot of reels, but I know on my Trinidad 20, I had almost 500 yards. And so that's pretty thin. I think that's going to be pretty close to that, but in a contest, I probably would say that Max Quattro is probably still a little bit thinner, but not by much.
All right, very good. Jeff wants to know, he says, Phil, when is the last day of fishing the seas? Why are you smiling? There's no last day of fishing the seas that I'm aware of quite yet.
Not
Perhaps
yet.
you're making reference to the rockfish season. That would be a guess I would go with, and that would be December 31st.
That's right.
And then it opens up in April again. So if that's what you mean, Jeff, you got the answer. If that's not what you mean, pop in another one there. Carlos Hay.
Carlos G.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Hello,
Your
Mr.
Dockwater guy.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Mackie, remember that? He got to stay on there messing with the lifeguards that day. We had a good time doing that. Mackie, film it, Mackie. He just didn't want to have it right into the guy's face. Hello, Mr. Sam, Phil, and El Muchacho, enamorado de Paulina. That's true. He's muy enamorado con esa muchacha tan linda, Paulina. Que muchacha más bella. I'm getting carried away here. Bar perch at Dockweiler are biting. Yesterday, my daughter, Sin, and I went surf fishing the incoming tide, and oh boy, it was hot. There you go. That's for my surf fishing report, Carlos. Thank you. Why don't we meet you down there, man? I would love to do that. Red Pill.
Right now?
Sure. I'm going to get one of those chicken. Did you leave any chicken wings, you little rat?
No, they're gone.
Oh, good. No, they're gone. Red Pill. Good evening, gents. Hey, Sam, for a Talica 20, what rod would you recommend a Seeker OSB?
1x3?
1x3, UC, Center, or CalStar 775H?
Yeah, all three of those would be good. Although I will say that Talica 20, small in size, but big in power, you can probably fish even one step up on all three of those. Whether it be a 2x4, a Viper, or a 2XH or an XH, sorry. And so depending on what you were targeting, if this was going to be your biggest rig, I definitely would step it up a little bit. That reel has a lot of power, and if you're going on Phil's trip, for sure, you're going to catch big ones.
Damn right, for sure. Jeff wants to know, Sam, how do you solder a ring on for hooks?
Like this, and then that's it. Pretty. I think we did a video, actually.
We did do a video.
Yeah, you have to probably reference that video.
Yeah, Jeff, just, where that magnifying glass is, you can do a search in there, and whatever it is you're asking about, what, soldering a ring to the hook? I don't know why I'm finding this so funny. Jeff wants to know.
That's why you're losing viewers every week.
I know, man. This poor guy, Rob, I can't. He asks a question, and I go off on some diatribe.
What's wrong with you, man?
Yeah, Jeff. And Jeff wants to know: is there a special solder?
There is. As far as the flux is going to be the black flux. The wire is going to be 56% silver and a 1/32 diameter. And the flame, you're going to need some heat. Maybe a butane lighter would be the other thing you need.
Yeah, look for that, Jeff. And if you can't find it, just send me a message later and I'll send you the link to it. Sam did a really, really good job on that. And finally, a man with vision and talking with sense. Sacco Hunt says, hit that like button. I love that guy. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sacco Hunt. Scott Buchert, breaking news. Do you have the breaking news music? We need it, man. One yellowtail on the San Diego today. Woo! One yellow. They've been seeing a lot of yellows on that rig, but they have not been wanting to bite. Maybe just a function of the colder water. Tyler Tanaka, sitting right in front of us. Phil, is there another Friedman trip on the Island Spirit on December the 27th? You damn right there is, Tyler. Are you going? He's going.
Hell yeah.
Woo! This is going to be too much fun. Look at Mackey's got a big...
No gear?
That's all right. No problem. You can use Michael's. Right, Dan? You're going?
All we need is one rig.
You're set. Don't worry about it. We got you, right? Yeah. We'll get the captain's gear, whatever. Daniel's great. Don't worry about it. We got you covered. $50, you're in. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Good cast.
Yeah, really. 600 feet of water, you got one of those mermaid rods and reels. All right, let's see. Chris Navarro is back to jigsaw puzzles. What size jig would you use?
I think he's trying to make fun of the last.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Very. That's funny. I like that.
It is?
Pretty good. Yeah, I don't even know what it is. I'm so lost at this point. I don't know what he's talking about. Scott runs the San Diego boats.
All of them.
Oh, he runs them, huh?
Wow.
Thought Frank LaPresti was something. Scott Bouchard is the man here. Phil, you know that he's all that and a bag of chips. Go Team Scott. Free spool.
Mr. Freespool.
Mr. Freespool, man. Yeah, he earned that. You know why he got that nickname, Tyler? Did you hear?
Yeah, I can't believe that he did that.
He did
to
that.
a fellow angler.
To a guy he doesn't even know. In fact,
He thought he was just being funny.
Yeah, that wouldn't have gone over
honestly,
so good.
no,
He picked the right guy.
Might have had
he
to have-
sure did.
Yeah.
Anyway, Scott Bugard freespooled a guy on our trip. The reel went, and he lost the
I would have
jig.
threw him in the water.
I know, man. There's a whole bunch of guys who would have done that.
Yeah.
He got the right guy.
Yeah. He got
I
lucky.
don't think he meant to do it. I think he was just goofing around, and he actually did it because he felt so bad. He was apologizing to Danny Lester. You know Danny.
Yeah.
He was over, like Danny was just sitting there like,
He was kind of like, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. He's like one of those, huh?
oh
and then
my
he
God.
touched him.
Yeah, right, exactly. And he was apologizing to Danny, and Danny was just like staring at him, like not saying a word. Scott
You better
just kept
not do that with me. Yeah.
talking. Yeah, right, exactly.
Then he puts a calico in his
Yeah,
bluefin.
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
It was 199 to 2.
Yeah.
Oh my God, free spool Scott.
Legendary.
Yes, he is. That is for sure. But yeah, that was funny. In fact, I was going through video today, just looking, and I must have taped 10 minutes of him apologizing to that guy, and because it's so funny, man. I'm gonna blackmail him with that chantage, right? I'll get that little rap. All right, no, Mike, I'm on Team Scott also. All right, Raul, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for being with us. Phil, Sam, good evening. Sam just bought a Torque 25N SD and need to spool it up. What braid would you recommend? Thanks.
So that's a pretty versatile size reel there. It's small in stature as well, but it can do a lot of different things. If you're going to use it as a surface iron reel, I probably would put some 50-pound braid about halfway, and then top it off with some 40-pound. I actually probably would maybe even put this Suffix 80-pound on it for surface iron. But if you wanted to be a more kind of general use, something you can use all around, maybe some 65 or even 50-pound even. 50-pound would be a nice size for that reel. Would probably provide you a little bit better fly line activity for that reel if that's something you wanted to do. But if you wanted to go kind of make it an all-around reel where you're going to dropper loop with it, fish yo-yo with it, and maybe even surface iron fish with it or something like that, some 65 would probably be what I'd put on there.
All right, Jonathan K says, thanks, fellas. Jonathan, thank you. Rob is back. He's getting his money's worth tonight on his first time ever being on this show. But that's what we're here for, Rob, to be of service to you guys. Ever fish jerkbait with the hooks swap for weedless trebles or hooks with weed guards? Don't start. I can see you're laughing over there right now. Lip still being an issue. I guess maybe lipless darter of some sort with weedless hooks.
Well,
Why is that even the least bit funny? Why did you laugh?
I'm not laughing.
Okay. I guess I am.
I'm just happy to be here.
Me too.
Yeah.
Blessed.
Yes.
Blessed.
Yes. So, Rob, I mean, at some point, all the alterations you're going to make, I think, may alter the action of that lure. So, to me, I feel like, yeah, you can probably, put a whole bunch of things on there to solve one problem, but it's probably going to create even a bigger problem. I would say your best solution is try to, just try to walk away from that situation. It's just not going to get any better, and everything you do to change that lure is probably going to make it so that it just doesn't work very good. So I don't really have a good. The only thing is maybe putting some single hooks on them. That might snag a little bit less, but if it's snagging that much that even the single hooks will do it, you probably kind of have to give up on that spot for that day.
All right, Rob, thank you. Great question. Keep them coming, man. The show will go on until we have no more questions. Tyler Tanaka, Red Pill. For your information, I have a Seeker OSP 1x3 and love it. It's perfect 80-pound rod for sinker rigs, fly lining huge mackerel, and jigging too. Doug Tilk has a new name. It's Doug Kilk now.
Kilt.
Scott Bucher wants to know, is Doug Kilk going fishing on the 27th on the Island Spirit?
The Kilt was the first one to book.
Yeah.
Doug Kilk was the first one to book, Scott, you little rat. So Scott's going on the 20th, but guess what? So to get to Ventura, you got to leave like at 3 o'clock in the morning, because the boat's leaving at 6. Oh, it's pretty good. I can live with that. What is that, third quarter?
Yep. End of the third quarter. Yeah. Tie.
34. So we need a few more points there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need Cincinnati to put up 14 here. What were we talking about? Oh,
I just thought I'd trip you up.
Yeah, you
It
did.
wasn't that hard.
no. Scott, so you got to leave at 3. I got to go to Newport. This is what I'll go with you on the trip. If you come to Newport and pick me up, so I got to go there at 2 o'clock in the morning, pick him up, take him to Ventura. I'll be dead tired.
Yeah.
On the 20th, Notre Dame's in a freaking playoff game that night
man.
when we hit the dock. So I want to watch them play Indiana somewhere, And so then I got to take him back to Newport at 2 o'clock in
And
the
they're going
morning.
to lose, and then you got to drive back.
Then I'll strangle Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
It's going
sure.
to be a rough day.
All right, boy. All right, Scott. Is Doug? Doug is going. Chris Navarro. Phil, does your son still use the crescent wrench jig I made for you? I don't know. I'll have to ask him. It's been a while. Both boys are a little busy because they both had kids. So Patrick's back in Florida. I forget who's got it. I don't even know who's got it right now. But I will check into that for you, Chris. And Chris says, great show, guys. Hit that like button. I couldn't agree more. Isaac, speaking of videos, when's the full trip video? I thought Scott was the only one who drives me nuts on this. Coming out. Christmas, Thanksgiving, came
next
and
year.
went.
Maybe
Yes.
next year, Thanksgiving.
Christmas. I was going through the video today.
2025.
I'm going for Christmas Day.
2025.
Isaac.
What's the over-under on that? Now, give me
Oh,
on that action right there.
yeah. Let me think
Easy
about
money,
that.
baby. Easy
Christmas.
money.
Well, there it is. It's Christmas Day.
Easy money.
Over under. So
Over.
You're probably right. There's got to be 500 scenes. And just sometimes I look at it and want to throw up now.
I would say 4th of July.
Yeah, maybe. Of what year?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, by the way, at the end of tonight's show, we're gonna go eat, right? But I think we should let the show run, and Tyler can come up here and take a mic and say something back to
Reggie?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
And then who else may want to do that? Eric, you're welcome. Chad, for sure. We
Doug-
want Chad to come up
Doug
here.
Kilk?
Doug Kilk may want to do something. Yes, Doug Kilk with all these toys here.
I'm worried that the calico joke is going to get me in trouble.
Yeah, really.
Bringing it on the trip.
Yes, I think so. Could you ask Doug Kilk if I could have the Barbie doll? Scott wants to know.
Sure.
All right.
Buy you one.
It's all yours, Scott. All right. Tyler Tanaka with a $5 bill. Tyler, thank you, my friend. We deeply appreciate it. For those wondering, Sam and Phil are actually both funnier in person than watching the live stream. Barely. Really?
I
Man.
think it's the atmosphere.
Yeah.
All right, cue ball. Kelp-wrapped yellowtail is a California roll. I like it.
Yep.
Over on that, says Isaac. He agrees with you. It's
For
going to be
sure.
after Christmas. What do you think about that?
Oh, 100%.
No, I think I can get it
No
done.
way.
We'll see.
A million years.
That's why I keep releasing like snippets. Like,
Yeah.
There you go. There's something.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Mike the Cranker Krinkovich. Can't wait to meet Tyler. I'll be Scotty's reprieve on the next Friedman Adventures 8-day. Oh, by the way, Tyler, we'll have a great time. Don't worry about the Scott. He's solid in a loving way. Fish on. All right.
Alrighty.
I've actually fished with Scott.
You have?
Yeah.
Where?
On the Mission Bell.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Yeah.
How was he? Did he behave or
He was a great deckhand.
really?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my-
So I think I've actually fished with Scott multiple times. I didn't know he was
Scott Buchert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Oh.
he was Scott Buchert.
Scott, we have actually found somebody who said you did a great job on a boat. I would get this guy's frickin' phone number, Scott, and to get a reference right away because they're hard to come by, let me tell you.
It was
No,
a
Scott's
tough-
great.
Tough day of fishing.
Yeah.
And good deckhands will make it not feel like.
That's great, man. I'm glad to hear that. Was Sean Hardigan running the boat at that time?
No, it was
Steve?
Steve.
No. Okay, perfect. All right, Scott, you got an A1
Review.
Boy, yeah, that's too bad.
Mission
I
Bell-
fished with him on the
Mission Bell
Ranger
Mafia.
85.
Dan fished with him on the
He was
Ranger
great
85.
there,
How
too.
was he?
Yeah, he was all right.
All right.
Well, I didn't know who he was, but he did his job. He
Did his
wasn't
job.
sick, you know?
Boy, Scott, you're getting all
starting
kinds
to
of
think that
accolades.
your twisted description of him.
Well,
all
you want
in your
You
head.
want to be with him in the stateroom?
I'm just saying, so far, the light is coming. It's coming to light here.
Shining on me.
Yes,
I'm anti-Scott for some reason.
you are.
Venture.
Yeah, I definitely am. No, I love Scott. You know that, Scott. All right, Raul, Sam, are you having any Christmas deals?
You know, nothing that I put down, and we had the Black Friday sale, which was really, really good. I might run something next week. You know, seeing as it's going to be the last week here before you guys can get your shopping in. But it's kind of tough, you know, because I'm not sure how to get the word out to the people who are buying the gifts. Most of the people who are buying those gifts aren't
Or the
fishing people.
mom- yeah, or the.
So they're
yeah,
not
but can't-
following us,
don't
you know?
guys just say to their wife, "Hey, go down there and."
Well, that's what we get. We get that on the 22nd, 23rd. They come in, and you know, the thing that I like the most, it makes me feel good, and I think it makes them feel good too. Is let's just say, you know, your wife came in or whatever and said, "Oh, I'm getting this, you know, this gift card. You know, oh, who's it for? Oh, his name is Phil. Oh, what's his last name? Phil Friedman. Oh, I know Phil. He's good. You know. Oh, you know him. So it makes them feel good that
Yeah.
that they're coming down here and somebody knows them here. So now it's like all these stories that they probably tell at home about how, you know, the tackle shop or whatever. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, you know, oh yeah, they actually know you there, you know. And,
Yeah.
And maybe, and sometimes I'll even know what kind of fishing they do or what they're into. Maybe they know that they got a Cedros trip coming up or a 10-day trip coming up or whatever. And so I'll help them buy something that's appropriate for that person. So, you know, a lot of times I feel like, you know, the people who are coming in during that time are kind of unaware of us. You know, they do know that, hey, just go down there and
Yeah.
get me something from there. But they're not usually are telling them, well, I want a Talica 20, you know, or
Yeah,
something
right.
like that, you know.
Right.
It's usually just, you know, give me something, and it's usually a gift card and a shirt.
Which
or
is
something like that,
perfect.
which is cool. But I think I get the chance to kind of really meet their family and show that their family member is someone that we care about too.
That's great.
It's a pretty cool deal. But yeah, so I don't know how to get the message to those people. So I'll put something out, and maybe if they just forward it to their wives or whoever, then maybe we'll get something out of it. But I don't have anything on set right now, Raul, but I'll put something together for next week.
All right, Mike Krinkovich wants to know how to get in touch with Scott Buchert. After this, call me crazy, but it's a solid.
All right.
Boy, this is turning into the Scott Buchert thing. I'm Scotty's representative, Tyler. You have to go through Crinker, whatever the hell he is. Carlos, Senor Phil, when is Scott going to be on the show with you guys? I want to have him on the show. You know, I think if I told him I'll wipe out your gambling debt, that he'd do it then.
He would?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Either that or, you know, I'm going to send Benny the leg breaker over there.
Benny Cadota show and then the Scott Buchert show.
Yeah.
Oh man, you'd have a whole series.
Oh
going.
man, that would wipe. Yeah, that, you know, morning briefings like, you know, Scott Buchert. His show would be it'd be a hit. It totally would. Martin M. Hi guys. What 10-foot rod combo and line size would you use to fish smaller surface irons such as the DW2, Candy Bar 200, Taddy A1, Salas 7X Junior, or 2-ounce jigs?
Well, I mean, this is kind of a situation in which, you know, traditionally, you know, we're fishing a different size line for different size jigs, you know, traditionally back in the day, I guess I should say. Not something we do a whole lot anymore. The reels have gotten so good, the free spool has gotten so good, the spools are so light that they can kind of handle that. Back in the day, we used to fish maybe a squidder or something like that for a small jig, for barracuda or bonita, because the large spool with all that mono, it was kind of hard to cast some of these smaller jigs. Nowadays, with braid and just using a smaller, a more modern reel, these lightweight spools do a pretty good job. But some guys would fish even lighter line, maybe some 25-pound. Back in when I was growing up, fishing 25-pound on a surface iron was pretty common.
Yeah.
You know, but nowadays you just don't hear that a lot. I'm not to say that I'm recommending that. You're still going to want to kind of make sure you see what the situation is. If you're chasing big yellowtail like Catalina, I probably would still fish 40-pound. They should cast just fine. But that being said, you know, when I'm fishing barracuda locally, I will drop down to 25 or 30-pound test, and that will help one of these smaller jigs swim a little bit better. So That's basically what you're trying to do. Number one is cast a little bit better, but number two is that these smaller jigs just don't have as much kick or as much potential to kick and overpower the stiffness of the line. So you might find that a little bit lighter line might get a little bit more bites. Not necessarily because they don't see it, but more because the jig's going to have more action. And so that might be something you do. I generally don't have a set rule that I'm fishing this jig with this line all the time. But I will say that at times I will have a second lighter weight rod if I think that fishery is a little bit, not biting that good, and you go to Catalina. I might take my 40-pound rod, but also maybe a 30-pound rod and get a little bit better action. As far as which rod specific, once again, when you're dealing with these 10-foot rods, most of them, unless you're dealing with a very, very heavy action rod, most of them should be able to cast those small jigs pretty good. There are some lighter weight rods out there that are just going to be able to load up easier. But that being said, if you are just maybe slowing down your cast, or I should say, making it so that your release point is a little bit earlier on these slower rods, you should be able to still get decent distance. But there are some rods out there that are going to load up a little bit more for these lighter weight jigs. Something like a UC 100 mag or 100 mega, something like that would be a good choice to start looking there. And United Composite, the Rain Shadow, they have a SW1207. That would be really good. There's not a whole lot of small diameter, lightweight rods in the 10-foot length, but those are two that I would start off looking at.
All right, good stuff. Does it feel like we've been going on an hour and a half? This went by
Feels
fast.
like 4 hours. Oh.
All right, Mike Krinkovich wants to finish up with some Scott foolishness. Hi, Scott. This is the Cranker. It's all about La Familia. Go Irish.
Oh, man,
I'm
get on
all
your
in on
side.
that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
20-17, Dallas early in the fourth. And the Hidden Reef, cue ball, maybe going with us. The Fred Hall Outdoor Show will be January 30th through February the 2nd at the Long Beach Convention Center, and we will be there. I know you're going to be there.
Yep.
And Mackie and I are going to be there.
That's good news.
And yeah, there you go, Tyler.
Tyler's going to be there.
We're not going to shut this off, by the
Yeah.
way, Mackie. We're going to let a couple
yeah.
guys come on here and chat for a second, unless you have something planned where you're going to.
I could talk about Scott.
Yeah, you definitely can. Why not? Let's turn this into the Scott Bucher Show. Sam, you want to get something to eat?
Yeah.
Great show?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Stay there. Let me say something.
Yeah, come on up, Tyler.
Yeah.
Of course.
Bringing this for you guys.
Oh, man.
Goodness.
You each left 2 beef barbecue.
You are
ribs.
so cool. You're going to be next to say something here because you provided this great meal.
This is amazing.
Tyler, here.
On the
you
show.
did it. Stereo. Okay.
On the
Yeah,
show. This is amazing.
Tyler, we just met.
Yes,
It's
first
so
time.
nice,
Even
yeah.
though I feel like I've known you.
I know, exactly. I feel the same way.
Yeah, so many live streams, all of the morning briefings.
Yes.
When I moved to Tennessee, it was really hard leaving the ocean.
Yeah.
And like people who live here, sometimes they don't realize how blessed they are to be in this fishery. And when you leave and you're landlocked, it's like you miss the ocean. And so during COVID, I was not doing good mentally.
Yeah.
Like the morning briefing let me be connected to my guys that were out here fishing, even though I wasn't here fishing. It was
Therapeutic.
yeah, it was great. And I'm like very thankful.
Thank you.
Like every morning I could just tune in and I couldn't go fishing, but I could tune into the morning briefing. And then Tackle Shop Confessions was awesome because I was commuting to Texas almost every week for my job. And so every Monday I'd land, I'd go get in and out, and then I'd turn on Tackle Shop Confessions,
Get your
and
SoCal fix.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
That means a lot to both of us. It really does, Tyler.
Yeah. The other thing is, I don't think I have to explain this to the audience, but if you get a chance to fish with Sam, he is an unbelievable angler. Like he makes casting, hooking, fighting, and landing fish look effortless. He's like an incredible angler. And so it's like he doesn't just own the tackle shop, but he loves fishing. He's an unbelievable angler. And so, come down to Island Tackle and
you, man.
and shop. Yeah. It's
I just love fishing. I mean, and surface center
Yeah.
fishing it's really something that, it's as close as I'm ever going to get to being a Killian. And so when I'm able to have that opportunity, even when it's not biting good, that day was biting crazy
Yeah.
good.
You want me to hold this?
But even
No, I can.
Okay, got it.
even on days when it's not biting good, to me, even just the casting motion, the mechanics of casting is so enjoyable that I don't know. It's always been something that I've loved. I know a lot of guys share the same kind of sentiment. They just love the long rod. They love casting. But when you have a day like that, it's like this is what you've always dreamed about. I mean, to me, as a kid, like I was saying earlier, is how many times have we rolled up on a bird school and it's bonita or it's mackerel or they won't even roll up on it because they're like, no, it's just mackerel on the way in. But you see it, and you dream like, man, one day it's going to be full speed yellowtail. Well, that's Cedros, man. And for somebody who grew up around here, worked a little bit on the boat, and it's just generally just fished local Southern California, it's like it's a dream come true. It really is. If you like that kind of fishing.
Yeah, and then the other thing too is, a lot of guys watching the show right now don't live anywhere close to Long Beach and Carson. I just call and order stuff.
Yeah.
And Sam ships it to me. It's always fast. The crew is great here at the shop. I know that the line is going to be put on right. Like you don't know who's going to put braid on your reel, and it could be a bad spool job.
Yeah.
So like I know it's going to be done right. I know the top shot's going to be the exact right length. The stuff he picks out good jigs for me. I know he gives them a magic swing.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
all good.
There is one time when that will go astray, and that's when someone calls and they order stuff from Sam, and then Sam entrusts me to deliver it. Yeah, Brian, sorry about that. I found it though, Brian.
yeah. So anyways, it's just great to be here in person, and it's
awesome having you here, man.
Yeah, it's
pretty
great
cool.
fishing with you.
Yeah.
And
Tyler, it is so nice to meet you, my friend. Really, and that story you told, that really means a lot to me. It really, really seriously does.
it's a really great community. The fishing community, good people. You could be from this side of the tracks or that side of the tracks, rich, poor, doesn't matter what color you are. The fishing community is awesome. It's when you get on a boat or a ponga, everybody just wants to catch fish.
Yeah.
And they're excited for other guys catching fish, and it's a super cool community.
It is.
It is. And like you say, it transcends all of that other race, money, everything.
Yeah, nobody's talking politics when you're hooking up to a 35-pound yellowtail kicking your butt.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's just all for the love of fishing. So
Well, it's almost like a primal thing, I think, especially surface iron fishing, but most fishing in general. And so I think that we all kind of share that to some degree, to where, when you're having that experience, and you have other people around you that maybe share the same outlook on it, it's a pretty cool deal, So I think that it's something that I don't think it ever gets old. So people, you're saying, can you get tired of it? I'm like, I don't think I could. It's just such a cool experience,
Yep. And one plug for people who really like throwing iron. I know we've said this a lot. You got to get to Cedros.
Yeah.
Set money aside, put together a payment plan, call Rosie. I'm very loyal to Rosie and Cedros Sport Fishing. It's my go-to lodge, but all the lodges are great. Put a plan together. Convince a guy to go with you. Call me, Sam, anybody who's gone, Reggie. We'll give you all the tips, everything you need to know. It's worth going. It's one of those special places that it's just such an amazing fishery, and the experience is great. So it's worth going. You really, really should try to go. Yeah.
Tyler stole the show tonight, man. Awesome stuff. All the way from Tennessee, man.
Yeah.
I hope the Vols, like I say, do good in the college. That's going to be exciting.
It's gonna be a good
Where's that game? It's in Columbus. Yeah.
So they'll travel up to Columbus to play, and then Are we talking college football here for a minute?
Sure. You want to go eat, or you want?
They gotta get rid of this automatic bid for the bye games. That's ridiculous.
Oh, I know. Well, you mean
Yeah.
like Boise State and Arizona State getting
Yeah,
a bye?
like Penn State lost,
Yeah, I know.
and then gets a better.
Oregon
round.
has the toughest road, actually.
For sure.
Yeah, I
Agree,
mean,
100%
yeah.
agree. I think Notre Dame looks really good.
Yeah, they could. Indiana's not going to be a pushover. They're going to have a
Yeah.
tough game there. I think they match up pretty good against Georgia.
Agree.
And then after that, it would be, I don't know who it would be, Penn State, I think, and then Oregon maybe. Who knows? you
No,
know?
that's the other side.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's
right.
the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's they got to make it so that Notre Dame can be ranked higher than 5th.
Yeah.
Be-
Yeah, they
it
don't play a
breaks,
championship
it breaks
game.
the bracket.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to penalize them for
Yes.
being independent and
Yeah.
not picking a side.
Yes.
But it ruins the seeding bracket.
Yeah, yeah.
So hey, for a first year,
Yeah, they'll get.
it's a good start.
They'll work some of this
It's a good
stuff out.
start. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Good luck to the balls.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so
Yeah,
much
man.
again.
Great to see you.
All right, Chad, Christopher Klein. Now we have a movie actor coming on
There
here.
we go.
awesome
Next.
job on this.
There you go, Chad.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Phil.
Hey, Chad. Thanks, man. Good
You're
to
welcome,
see
buddy.
you.
Good to
We haven't
see
had a
you.
chance to really chat that much because I got here after doing Danny's show. You were out there busily cooking. Everybody's part. Man, I want to start munching on that pretty soon, man.
I'll talk if you want.
No, go ahead. Thanks again for
You're
all that you're
welcome.
doing, and
You're
it's going to be
welcome.
great to have you on these trips that are coming up.
Absolutely. I just, I think I've mentioned it to you personally. It's just the community that you create with Freeman Adventures and with Sam and Tackle Shop.
You guys all created.
Well, we created together, but you started it.
Yeah.
And there was one day I was, I've been fishing here in SoCal for about 10 years.
Yeah.
And I've tried different boats here and there. I'll go down to San Diego, Davies Lock, or I go fishing by myself. And I'm here in Hollywood. I am an actor.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends are great people, but they don't like the outdoors like I do.
Yeah.
I like getting dirty.
Yeah, right.
I like getting bloody.
Yep.
I like catching my own food, so it's hard. I've been fishing alone. I'm just a guy. I'm a single guy going out and fishing, and I'll say hi to people around, and it's nice and everything. But like the community that we've all put together, that you've shepherded. I was just online one night searching, and like I want to be a better angler and fisherman here locally, and all of a sudden I came up on your Freeman Adventure. I was
Worst
like,
day-
I don't
worst
like
day of
that.
your
No, it was the best. It was the best. Now I have friends and community and fishing.
All these guys that are here tonight, man, they're all, you
now I
call
go
them
on a
friends.
boat. I'm like, hey, Mike, hey, Phil, hey,
Yeah.
it's just like now I feel like I'm part of something.
Yeah, right. And I feel so fortunate to have people like you that are such good people and do so much in the communities, and it's
we all
good
do.
stuff, man.
It takes a village.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
and your outreach here, I gotta say, I have friends in Texas who watch you, Scotland who watches you. I have friends in Australia who watches you. I mean, you are worldwide, my friend.
We've been creeping up on the stage here, and we seem to keep gaining momentum, and I feel very blessed. It's just wonderful to have people like you around
Do
us.
what you love. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
100%.
Absolutely.
We're going to shoot some videos together here
Yeah,
too,
we are.
pretty
Absolutely.
soon.
Well, we'll go fishing on the 20th. We'll
Yeah,
have fun on
you're
doing
going to bring
that.
a drone out, right?
Well, I'm practicing it.
Yeah.
I'm still
I
kind
know.
of, I don't want to lose it in the ocean.
I hear you, man. Chuck Zimmer, the president of the Rod and Gun Club in Redondo Beach, he lost a couple.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. They make some really good ones I have to save up. It's either going to be an 8-day fishing trip with you or a big drone. So we'll have to see. 'Cause
Man.
They do make these drones that go underwater, submersible,
Oh my
and fly.
God.
And fly.
How cool is that?
Yeah, but they're like the price of a 8-day trip.
Yeah, like 5Gs?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful, Chad. Thank
All
you
right,
so
my friend.
much.
It's time for you to eat.
Yeah.
Instead of what time it is for the morning briefing, it's time for Phil to eat some food.
I'm going to do that, I think. Unless anybody else out there, Eric, you want to say anything? I think we're good. Michael, do you know how to shut that thing off? Do you really? All right, hold on. Thanks, everybody. It has been great. All these guys who are down here are such great guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Sam's over there partaking of some great food. Mackie is going to shut us off here. Hey, Michael, watch what he does. So next time you can take over. Thanks, everybody. Hit that like button. I'll see you for the morning briefing. I'll be out there about 4:30 tomorrow morning because I got some stuff I got to do early tomorrow. So I'll see you bright and early. Have a great one. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week on Monday night for another edition of Tackle Shop Confessions. Take care, my friends.